Today, I'm going to show you a ridiculously simple way to cook with umeboshi. So stick around. Welcome back to No Recipes. I'm Mark Matsumoto, and I'm here to show you how to elevate your everyday meals. So be sure to smack that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss out. Umeboshi literally means dried ume in Japanese, and it's a mouth-puckeringly sour and salty pickle that's made by salting and drying unripe ume. It's a relative of apricot, and it's traditionally eaten with white rice as a pickle, but it's also a flavorful condiment that can be used in dressings, soups, and sauces. Because umeboshi are so flavorful, you can use them to season dishes without adding much of anything else. And today we're going to be braising them with chicken wings. This is one of those set it and forget it dishes that only requires a few minutes of active work. And yet you get these gloriously tender wings lacquered in a tart and savory glaze made by reducing the braising liquid. Today I've used drumettes to make them easy to pick up and eat, but wingettes or even a boneless cut of chicken thigh will work. Are you hungry yet? Let's have a look at our ingredients. For the ingredients, I have 1,200 grams of chicken drumettes, a dozen large umeboshi. These ones are low sodium, a half cup of mirin, a 3 by 3 inch piece of konbu, and a tablespoon of usukuchi soy sauce. Like I said, this is a set it and forget it kind of dish. So I'm gonna add the konbu and umeboshi to a heavy bottomed pot. Then I'm gonna nestle in the chicken around the umeboshi, trying to stack them so there's as little space between the chicken as possible. By the way, traditional umeboshi is about 20% sodium, but I'm using a low sodium variety that's only about 5%. I like these because they're fruitier and easier to use, but if you can't find them, you can use regular umeboshi. Just be sure to reduce the amount of ume you add to compensate. Now I'm gonna add the mirin. If you can't find the real stuff, just sub in a half cup of sake and a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. Let's cover this with a lid and bring it to the stove. Before we jump into the cooking, I want to send a big thank you to every member of the No Recipes crew. You know who you are, and your contributions help make each of these videos possible. If you're not a member yet, and you're learning something new from my recipes, I hope you'll consider clicking the link in the description below to join. As a member, you'll get access to recipe previews, as well as a members-only community where I share updates and give you a behind-the-scenes peek at what I do. Okay, I'm gonna put the pot on the stove and turn it on to high heat. Once it comes to a boil, turn down the heat to low and let it simmer for 20 minutes. When the timer is up, open up the lid and rearrange the chicken so that you submerge any parts of the chicken that weren't covered in the braising liquid. Then you're gonna want to taste the sauce. If it's well salted, you can skip the soy sauce. Otherwise, go ahead and add it in now. I'm using usukuchi soy sauce because I don't want the sauce to get too dark in color. But if you don't have it, regular Japanese soy sauce will work just fine. Now you want to let this cook uncovered for another 10 minutes, rearranging the chicken periodically. You should have enough liquid, but if you don't, you can add a bit of water to keep it from burning. When the drumettes are tender, transfer them to a bowl and cover them up while we work on the sauce. Now you want to turn the heat up and reduce the braising liquid so it makes a glaze. You want the sauce to end up the consistency of maple syrup. How long this will take will depend on how much liquid there is, but it took me about 5 minutes. This is looking perfect, so I'm gonna go ahead and return the chicken to the pot and toss it around in the sauce to glaze each piece. It's okay if the umeboshi gets a little mashed up at this point, but don't cook the chicken for too long or it's gonna end up tough. Okay, the chicken is looking nice and shiny, so let's get this plated up. I'm gonna be serving this as a finger food for movie night, but you can also serve this with rice and miso soup, or pack it into a bento box for lunch. To finish it off, I'm gonna garnish this with some thinly sliced green shiso leaves, and our umeboshi chicken is done. I used chicken wings today, but this method works for almost any mild protein like pork, fish, or even tofu. So I hope you'll give this a try. If you enjoyed this video, you can help me out by giving this a big thumbs up and by sharing it with all your friends who love umeboshi. Well, I'm gonna go have some of these wings before they get cold, but I'll catch you in the next one.